What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I have got tons of information to get into, including an interesting patent that I found through Worldpay. If you're not aware, Worldpay has ties to Visa. Worldpay has ties to the W3C, Hyperledger. There's some interledger aspects within this patent as well, but I'm going to hop right in. First and foremost, the Brazilian digital real passes public blockchain pilot test with flying colors. Now, interestingly of note, this is through Stellar, this test. The test used the Stellar blockchain as a public blockchain and included all the steps that a regular user would have to conduct for the use of a tokenized on-chain version of the digital real, including traceability, KYC, and anti-fraud procedures derived from a digital decentralized identity system. It should also be of note that I believe there were 9 participants within the Brazilian tests. Mercado Bitcoin is part of the 9 institutions selected by the Central Bank of Brazil to run these tests. Yeah, we don't. I mean, I don't see Stellar stuff way too much, but saw that today and found it interesting. Of note within this, we do know that Ripple back in 2022 partnered with TravelX Bank to bring crypto-enabled payment solutions to Brazil. All right, so I want to get into this here because this is actually pretty cool. We've seen this kind of like from the Hedera ecosystem starting to pull Ethereum community, Solana community. I would argue that probably 60 or 65% of the people that hold XRP probably hold HBAR coming over into the NFT ecosystem on Hedera, but we're now starting to see this kind of reciprocate into the XRPL as well. So this is at the Real Navi. He's obviously HBAR, XRP, Quants, Solana, and Render, asking about how to buy XRP NFTs. Huge shout out to XRP Cafe on XRP and XMart as well. And if you want to get a full list of all of the NFT exchanges on the XRPL, you can always go to BitHomp. But on top of this, he put out a tweet asking what the best wallet to get was, and starting to get some notice from some of these Ethereum accounts. So 58.4 thousand followers there, 43.2 there. Huge shout out to OnXRP for sending me a hoodie. This is pretty cool for the X-Punk aspect. So shout out to Kai and Bastion for that as well. All right, moving forward, Web3 remains. Oh, you know what? I wanted to give a shout out to. Hold on one second. So there is. Yeah, right here. So once you're in some, you can kind of click on that icon in the bottom middle. It'll take you up to the dApps or the Zaps. I'll just say dApps. And there's a dApp called Non-Fungible where you can actually look at all the NFTs that are in your wallet. Daniel_WWF, as well as NFT LT Dim. So giving those guys a shout out too. It's the first thing that I've really seen from the application standpoint on some to view NFTs. So I thought it was pretty cool. So we definitely see more and more building from the NFT aspect on the XRP ledger, which is always great. This came across today as well. So this is Bain. Now, if you're not aware, I believe Bain has, I think it's $160 billion in assets under management, putting out their private equity review for 2023. One of the portions, which was a pretty large portion within it, is Web3 remaining highly relevant for private equity despite the hype and turmoil in the crypto world. Web3 technology is here to stay. For private equity, Web3 will have important implications for how funds invest, underwrite risk, and raise new capital. There's quite a bit in here. I'm not going to get through the whole thing, but you can obviously see, it's the same thing we've been talking about forever. Web3, crypto, blockchain, DLT, it's not going anywhere at this point in time, even to the point that you see these monstrous kind of asset management companies such as Bain talking about Web3 certainly still going to be here for the foreseeable future. Bank of England putting out a call for papers, their 2023 annual fitting title, Annual Bear Research Conference, London, 27th and 28th February 2023, New Digital Technologies in the Future Financial Landscape, as well as the G20 Chair Summary and Outcome Document, which is the first G20 Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors meeting of 2023, February 24th and 25th. You want to know where this space goes. I mean, there's a lot in here regarding crypto. Maybe I'll just read a couple of segments within this. But then kind of this digital financial ecosystem that they talk about at the bottom was pretty interesting to me as well. So they welcome ongoing work from the Financial Stability Board and international standard setters to ensure that the crypto assets ecosystem, including so-called stablecoins, are closely monitored and subject to robust regulation, supervision, and oversight to mitigate potential risks to financial stability. Also welcoming the FSB's analytical report on decentralized finance, and look forward to the FSB's or Financial Stability Board's high-level recommendations for the supervision and regulation of, they're taking a knock at stablecoins, obviously, so-called stablecoins and crypto assets, respectively, by the third meeting in 2023. Also welcoming, this is pretty interesting, the IMF discussion paper on macro financial implications on crypto assets. Now, apparently they're going to be putting out, between the Financial Stability Board and the International Monetary Fund, a synthesis paper which will support a coordinated and comprehensive policy approach to crypto assets by considering macroeconomic and regulatory perspectives. So macroeconomic is important within this as well, and then regulation also. So they're essentially going to, from what it looks like, provide kind of this synthesis that showcases what crypto assets will look like playing a role within the economy as a whole, which is pretty interesting, because if you pay attention to the verbiage that all these central banks have been saying for the past handful of months here, even into last year, is that crypto assets aren't putting the traditional system at systemic levels of risk right now, but they're going to be kind of analyzing issues around that, which I thought was pretty interesting. Let me get down into here as well. Digital. Hang on one second. So yeah, also, particularly the vulnerable. This is about kind of banking the unbanked, tying everybody into the same system. Committed to advancing financial inclusion, ensuring that no one is left behind. Now you can also pay attention to, I don't remember, I think it was the World Bank, their verbiage about nobody being left behind, which came out last week. Small and medium businesses, individuals that are outside of the normal financial system, particularly the vulnerable and underserved, welcoming the productive discussions on digital public infrastructure, or DPI, especially in promoting financial inclusion at the G20 high-level symposium on digital public infrastructures for innovative, resilient, inclusive growth and efficient governance, held in February 2023. By their third meeting this year, which is at the same time that you'll probably see all these crypto documents coming out that they're talking about, they're looking forward to the formulation of policy recommendations for rapidly advancing financial inclusion and productivity gains through a well-designed digital financial ecosystem by leveraging digital public infrastructure. You can take that as you will, but I think that's a pretty sound statement. All right, the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, this just came out today as well, proposing to allow crypto trading. The Tel Aviv Stock Exchange has become another traditional trading floor to hop on the accelerating cryptocurrency wagon by allowing customers to transact digital assets. On Monday, Tel Aviv Stock Exchange started a public discussion on draft rules to approve non-banking members to trading cryptos. The proposed structure would allow customers to deposit fiat or cash into the platform for investment in cryptocurrency, which licensed providers can then trade. The non-banking members will act as intermediaries between the customer and the trading and custodial service providers. When a customer places the order to buy or sell a cryptocurrency, the purchase or sale will be executed using the deposited funds and recorded in the customer's account with the NBM. All right, moving forward. This just goes to show that we should be paying attention to like some of these news, whatever they're calling themselves, syndicates. And this is saying Ripple will definitely lose against the SEC. Crypto executive says, well, it's Gene Hoffman, who's the president of Chia Network, stating that he has confidence that Ripple will lose, then saying that Chia is certainly not a security, and then going down and saying he hasn't had any discussions with the SEC regarding the token's regulatory status, but he believes it's not a security. Okay. We do have a new ODL user. Now, this is through the Triangle partnership with EZY Remit that also just came out today. I think it came out yesterday, but came out in English today. Boosting cross-border payment capabilities with the Triangle tie-up, February 27, 2023. Of note within this, as part of Triangle's global push for Ripple's on-demand liquidity, the partnership will also allow EZY Remit to leverage on-demand liquidity to maximize working capital and deliver quick and cost-effective transactions across key corridors, including Indonesia, the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, India, and Bangladesh. So new ODL aspects as well. Saw kind of something come across yesterday over measuring consensus transactions for TPS on Solana, and then taking a little bit of a shot at Hedera as well. And it was a tweet that some guy put out. But you got Matt Woodward right here, leading developer relations for Hedera at Swirlds Labs putting out consensus transactions versus Hedera transactions per second. Misinformation is rife. A quick thread. Number one, like a 5-year-old explanation, Hedera consensus mechanism uses virtual voting. It does not create transactions on the network to vote on consensus. Virtual voting and network consensus, they actually do not contribute to transactions per second metrics. Number two is probably of note within this. The consensus transactions that you see on chain are from the consensus service, where use cases call this as paid transactions to denote verifiable events, timestamps for their applications. These do contribute to transaction per second metrics. And then number three, if in doubt, refer back to one. Interesting tweet coming out as well today. This is from Rect Capital. March is just around the corner. Historically, Bitcoin has broken out past its macro downtrend around 366 to 396 days prior to the halving. If you're not aware what the halving is, essentially the block rewards for mining Bitcoin get cut in half. This March, it's going to be approximately 396 days. So you can see when we've broken out of the kind of bear markets prior to the next halving event, and we're fast approaching it here. Might have a little bit more to get through with heavy resistance at the 50 EMA and the 200 weekly, but still, this is where we're at right now. Casper putting out version 1.4.13 of the Casper network. It's going live on the 2nd of March, which is going to lead to overall cost reduction for contracts. Undelegation and remove bid costs are now normalized. Test contracts with chain spec values. If you want more information within that, you can go read the entire tech release. Aleph Zero testnet is now permissionless. So similar to the mainnet, which already was, the testnet is open to all validators looking to experiment with their nodes. No approval process is required from now on. And it says have fun. And last but not least within this, I wanted to share this patent that I found today. This had just came out in February 2nd here. It looks like it was publicized at least. Should probably have dived into Vantive LLC a little bit here. But it is the current assignee is Worldpay. We know Worldpay has had ties with Visa and Earthport and all these other aspects, and Hyperledger and the W3C, and there's certainly some interledger aspects within that. But this is systems and methods for Hyperledger-based payment transactions, alerts, and dispute settlement using smart contracts. One thing I found interesting within this is that figures 1 through 7 are missing. But you can go to figure 8 here, look at blockchain analytics, translator API. And of note within this, you can get down and see blockchain application servers, smart contract API, update server system protocol, plugin for interledger communications, e.g. interledger communication protocol. I tried looking up ICP a little bit today. We know ILP, or interledger protocol, has ties within Hyperledger. If any of you guys find any information about ICP, I'd certainly be interested in hearing about that. So so tons of news, as there usually is on a daily basis within this market. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Thanks, bye.